Welcome to Friday Market Insights. It is May 21st, a beautiful day. My name is Ian Lusher. I'm a partner and portfolio manager with Genus Capital Management. I'm here with Wayne, our CEO and Chief Investment Officer of Genus. How you doing, Wayne?
It's great. Great sunny day. I'm happy. Long weekend coming up too.
Exactly. What happened in the market since this week? An interesting week.
Interesting week. The overall market levels didn't change that much. Neither did bond rates. But commodities came off for the first. They've had a great run here. They came off. Of course, the week lumber came off, copper came off, and oil came off. And of course, Bitcoin came off this week. Given some comments by Elon Musk, and the Chinese made some statements this week. And then a big corporate deal as well with AT&T spinning out their Warner Media assets into Discovery and taking 70% of that new entity.
So how did the market movements affect Genus portfolios, and did we make any adjustments this week accordingly?
It was a flat week in terms of portfolios. We made minor adjustments. We sold some lumber stocks. We were overweight. We reduced our weight there. We're still overweight lumber stocks. We still like the cyclical value trade. Now, there's massive stimulation this year, massive government spending, and stronger growth coming as with the reopening trade. So we're still on that trade. That trade still has legs, and so we're positive and sticking to those positions.
Right. You mentioned the price of lumber and kind of commodities in general falling off a little bit. The price of lumber has actually dropped off significantly, and there was reports of housing starts slowing a little bit in the US and Canada in April. Is this a sign of excess demand dissipating? And can you explain to clients what exactly this term of transitory inflation means?
Well, I think the evidence of a lumber correction doesn't prove that the inflation is transitory. We'll have to wait and see for the whole overall inflation story. But lumber was due for a correction. At the low last year was $300, went to $1,700. Ran down to $1,200 in this correction. It was due for a correction. It just had gone so far so fast. Previous highs were in 2018 were around, I think, $600. So now it tripled that basically. So it was due for correction. We still believe the housing story. There's a housing shortage in North America right now. People want to move to the burbs. They can go to work via Zoom, and that story has legs, I think. But costs are going up. I was talking to my builder last week, and he was saying that lumber costs for homes in Vancouver have doubled basically. And he said other costs have gone up as well, maybe around 10%. So you think lumber costs are maybe 10% of the overall construction cost. That's 10% right there, plus 10%. It's 20% increase in building costs. So that could have a bit of an impact on building going forward. But there was big demand, and there is supply shortage. So there's still legs in this story, we believe. But it was due for correction.
Yeah, makes sense. So the general markets have trended slightly lower, perhaps in May, but earnings are actually up. So can you explain to clients what this means for general market valuation, and perhaps going forward, how this bodes for the broad equity markets?
Well, yes, it was a great earnings season, spectacular. Everybody knocked the cover off the ball, but the market kind of yawned. And it's because the market had gone so far so fast. And markets always get ahead of earnings, okay? They always get ahead of earnings. They always anticipate earnings to get ahead of them, and then earnings catch up. Well, earnings are catching up right now. We're seeing targets on the S&P around 4,400, 4,500. S&P earnings for this year, we're seeing for 2022, people looking at 2022 because kind of through the pandemic, earnings there have gone from like 195 to maybe 210 in the past 2-3 months. So you put a 2022 time multiple on that, and it looks get the 4,500. Right now on 2022 earnings, the market is trading at 20 times. It was at 22 times. So you can see valuations have improved. And given where interest rates are, that's not a bad area for valuation. But we have gone so far so fast, not as much upside going forward. I think the market's just telling us that.
You mentioned our friend Elon Musk. Can you explain to clients China's effect, what the US has been doing or talking about in relation to cryptocurrency, and also how cryptocurrency movements affect the broader market?
Sure. Well, we've been saying for some time that governments have a monopoly on money, all kinds of money, coin money and fiat money. And I think they want to maintain that. and they will do what they can to maintain that monopoly, as well as there's going to be regulation on cryptocurrencies. And that's coming, we believe. There's going to be a regulatory crackdown. I don't know when it's going to happen. It'll happen at some point in time. Jay Powell mentioned on Thursday that they're doing a study on that. China's announcements this week, twice this week, sort of mentioned, reiterated their claim to have monopoly powers within their jurisdiction. So I think it's just evidence you'll see more governments doing that going forward. So it's coming. And Elon Musk was just saying, look, hey, the Tesla brand is tied to ESG, it's clean, but when you're actually mining Bitcoin, you're actually using energy, which is not good for the environment, of course. So that's, so it's there's a dark sort of image issue coming now, I think, with some of the cryptocurrencies in terms of the environment, in terms of regulatory issues coming. And people are saying, well, it's just being used by money launderers and crooks. So
yeah, and then this kind of significant drop in cryptocurrency does affect some companies like Square and all the ones that have come out. Is that correct?
Yeah, there was a move in the past 3 months for some of the fintechs to start using Bitcoin for trade. So it's just, we saw Square, we saw PayPal getting into it, and that gave the Bitcoin a big boost. And maybe that's going to come unwound. There's going to be a regulatory crackdown. Let's wait and see what happens after the dust settles.
Well, thanks very much, Wayne. That's it for this week.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks to everybody who's watching, and have an excellent long weekend.